All right, guys. So we got a little different approach that I am doing today. So a couple things. I get on here a lot and I talk a lot and I love doing this. And I want to do this thing that I used to do a lot, which was kind of just give you guys the behind the scenes of what's going on. The business, we're having different launches come up. And I'm doing this for a few reasons. And so this will really just be one of those videos. I hope to do this every week. If you guys really like it, I could do this daily, right? At the end of my day or the beginning of my day, because I really just want to pull back the curtain I talk a lot about personal brand, but I don't give a lot of the behind the scenes around how this personal brand really helps my income, right? I'm not shy. I talk about this a lot. I'm not shy or scared to talk about income and things. And so I want to start giving a real behind the scenes look. So we're going to try this for a few weeks. Leave questions, ask me things. I'm not scared to talk about money. Anything y'all want to talk about, we could talk about it. And the reason I want to start doing these little like personal diary things is, for one, the number one reason. I'm selfish and I can always say that. The number one reason is I want to look back on these in like 5 years. It's going to be interesting. I used to do this a lot, and so I already have videos of me in my first year of building. And it's always interesting to see like what problems I was having then, how things were impacting me, what I was thinking about, how I was thinking, how those things may be the same, how things have changed. And that is one of the big things that I love about building a personal brand is like, I get to look back on and just see all these things. When I have kids one day, they're going to get to look back and see all these things. And so number one reason is for me. Number two is to help you on this journey, right? There's this core belief that I have here is like when one of us dies, millions of stories and experiences and knowledge die too. And I'm learning a lot and failing a lot every day. I don't have this big ego where I'm like, I'm doing it right, or I'm doing it exactly how you should be doing it, right? But I know I'm learning a lot, I'm winning, I'm losing, and I think it's valuable to share those things. Like, what is it for me to hold on to all those experiences, right? The third thing, and I don't talk enough about this with personal brand, but it's talent acquisition. I have a lot of updates to share with y'all that you'll see down here, but I am investing heavy into team right now. And so building and sharing my vision for building, how I want to build. Selfishly, I'm hoping that this points me in the direction of some really cool people out there so that they can join the team and we can build together. And the last reason why I want to start doing these things is to make more friends and build community, right? And so people on similar journeys that I'm on, or just, want to connect and have some fun. Maybe you're building, maybe you're helping someone else build a brand and you have a lot of insights, right? But I think in this world that we live in, it's just so digital, right? But it's another key that I can use a personal brand to make friends and build community. So with that said, y'all, I'm going to get into these. Hopefully these are like 10, 12-minute like updates sort of things, different style than what I'm doing. But again, here's why I'm doing it, right? And to this core belief that I have within our company is that when one of us dies, millions of stories die too. I say this every day to our team. I say this every day in these YouTube videos, but I don't share enough myself, right? And so that's what I want to start doing and holding myself accountable. With these videos, there's something to sell you here. There's something to gatekeep here. So whatever questions y'all have, please ask them. If I feel uncomfortable answering it, which I can't see right now what I would be, but if I do, I will always keep it straightforward with y'all and say that. But please ask anything y'all want, right? This is supposed to be a fun, engaging way to connect, share value, super unscripted, and just like some updates, right? Maybe this will be boring. Maybe this will be helpful. We'll see. At the end of the day, I'm hoping that it helps me do one of these 4 things. So with that, a little structure. I think this will be my structure every week. Kind of just give y'all some like work updates. I'm a CEO and founder of an agency. We have some other things in play that I'm working on, which I should actually add that in here. I'm gonna give you guys a vision of like what's coming up, where I'm focused. This is a cool box that I really like. It's like, what's keeping me up at night? Like, what's stressing me right now? Like, where am I just like spending a lot of mental energy? Like, what's keeping me up at night? And then just personal updates, right? A lot of my work as a founder, as a CEO, plays into just how my personal life looks. And so I'll give you guys some personal updates as well. With that said, boom, 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 let's get into it, right? I also want to put something in here that I will forget. Let me see how I want to say this. All right. So first thing, let me zoom in here. First thing is that this brick by brick cohort, if you don't know what this is like a group coaching style community that we launched probably like 4 weeks ago at this point, for about a month ago. I've been building it and working on it for 3 years. So a lot of my energy over the last 3 years has been running this secret community that a lot of people didn't know about. I never really talked about it. It was kind of those, if you knew, you knew. But what I told them, even in that community, was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out the best ways to do this, right? And I don't know if we've like nailed it. I don't think there's a perfect way to do it, but I did learn a lot during those 3 years running that community. And my biggest focus with Brick by Brick was like to create a space to get people to take action to get results. And so I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Brick by Brick, people have been giving me a lot of feedback on it. And one feedback is like, man, this is like a boot camp. Like, it's serious. And I told them from day one, like, this is not a core, like this is not just woo woo woo, read the course, right? We've removed one person so far that was like, hey, this is a lot for me. This is a lot of work. I thought I was just can read some stuff, right? And so, but the rest of the folks that are in there, we have about 15 people in there. The goal was to get 15 people in there. And so even with the removal of one person, we're at our goal. But it's been crazy wins. It's been crazy, crazy wins. And again, I tell the folks all the time, I have a lot of cool frameworks. I will push y'all a lot, but my ego is not big enough to know that like these wins aren't solely because of me, right? The wins are because of the action that they're taking. And then I'm able to sit with them for an hour here. We have 2 live calls right now. So I'm able to sit with them, but because they're taking action, I can give quick feedback, quick pointers that really move the needle, right? And then I tell them all the time, if y'all weren't taking action, we would sit here and I'd be going through like basic principles, basic things, and not giving you all real individualized feedback, and it wouldn't actually move the needle. And so we've been having a lot of fun, but to the point around even it being sold out, I was able to sell out a cohort, right? And it wasn't cheap. I was able to sell this thing out. It's cheaper than what our agency clients would pay us, right? Way cheaper than what our agency clients would pay us. But I was able to sell this thing out with one email. And I think we posted on LinkedIn like 1 or 2 times. But we were able to sell this thing out because of the brand and the goodwill that I've put out there. And I tell this to y'all, if y'all are building personal brands, I actually just recorded a video around foundations that'll come out at some point. But if you're building a personal brand and you want to monetize that personal brand in a way that worked for me, right? I don't know. There's a lot of like just grimy things in the market right now, and I'm just not that type of person. And so my play has always just been what is so true to me is just like give people good value. And when they're ready to purchase with you or whatever, they're going to want to. And so over the last years and some change, we've just been putting out extreme value intentionally, helping people intentionally. And the 15 people that saw the email, they reached out immediately and they all paid immediately and got in, right? We are launching another cohort and I'll talk about that here in a second, but it's just been crazy wins and it's just proof to what building an intentional personal brand will allow you to do. Most of my friends in this space, or most of the people that I know in this space, they have to do all these fancy launches and webinars and do all this stuff. And I'm not saying at some point I won't do that. I think there is value in doing that. But I also think there's extreme value. What people miss when they're talking about all the ways to hack the system and get people to pay you, what they're missing is freaking heart and goodwill and actually saying like, how have I actually helped people? Before I ask people for some money and to join a thing, how have I helped people, right? And that's just always been my MO. And it probably is like one of those things that the marketers out there be like, oh, Casey, you're doing it all wrong, but I'm doing it right for me, right? So that's just one update that I want to share with y'all. If y'all have more questions on Brick by Brick, how we sold it out, maybe I could just do a whole video on that if that would be helpful. All the emails we sent, I'm happy to run through everything for that. And also, again, we're about to do another cohort, so I'm happy to share how I'm thinking about that. The other big thing that we're doing is rebranding our agency. Now, this is the first time that I've invested a lot into brand. I tell everybody I've made, at this point, almost $5 million through the personal brand. We have a website. I haven't been on that website since probably 2020. None of our clients go through that. We've been able to monetize my personal brand, right, to build this agency. Now, this is the first time we're focused on rebranding. And the reason that we're focused on it is because I'm intentionally growing our team. And as a leader, I want to give our team something to claim, right? Something to buy into more than like, oh, I work with Casey, right? I want them to say the name of our agency, wear merch, like just feel proud of something. And so that's just an intentional move right now. But for the last 5 years, we've been building through Casey Brown, right? And so it's no other reason, no other big reason than I feel that the team that I have right now and that I'm continuing to invest in, I want them to just be proud of like where they work and have a part into the branding of that and building it. And so I'm not even leading our rebrand. The team is. We have one individual that is amazing. I'll tell you guys more about him. But it's all in his lane. So he's like the creative strategist behind everything. And we're having a lot of fun doing that. But again, it's something for our team. I tell people this all the time too, because a lot of y'all focus on rebranding and what things look like. Like that doesn't matter in this game. What matters is transformation and goodwill. And so I also heard some stat, if you are thinking about branding, that you should expect at least a 10x, I believe it was 10 to 15x ROI on whatever you're spending on branding, right? And so if you are doing a website and a photo shoot and getting merch and you're spending $20,000 or something or $10,000 on something for easy math, you should know that this branding and that the effort put in, the money put in, the time put in is going to net you back 10x, right? And so even with our rebrand right now, I feel like our budget is around $10,000 for it. I got to look. I can confirm with y'all. But we're probably spending around $10,000 to $12,000 on the rebrand and all the different things that we want to do. Actually, maybe more. But whatever we're spending, I'll get that number for y'all because I do want to break down numbers. Whatever we're spending, I know that it'll give 10x in value, not even just from the client acquisition standpoint, but from the team retention standpoint, right? And these are the different things you have to think about as a leader, as a CEO. And I know that the team they already love it. They're already super bought in. They're already super excited about it. And so I'm thinking about it from a team value and retention standpoint that I know we're gonna get that ROI. And just like, again, talent acquisition, another reason I'm doing this. I think a lot of folks will buy into what we're doing. Restructuring the team. And so I'll go deeper on this for sure, but we are restructuring our entire agency process right now. And so a lot of y'all don't know, but the agency has been built a lot on content, right? The mission with everything that I've done over the last 5 years has been to tell stories. I was telling somebody this the other day, but even when I was in college, before I was in any of this, the bio or like the signature sign off when I was in college, it said Casey Brown, Northwestern University, economics major, and the last line said storyteller. And I've always had this claim. I love stories. I love sharing stories. And so when we started our agency, we actually started solely as a Facebook ads agency, right? That's what I started in. That's what we did for about 1.5 years or 2 years, solely focused on that. Then we transitioned into helping folks with short form content, producing all their content, doing these things. And then over the last probably like 6 months, we've focused and gone all in on LinkedIn. This is my first time talking publicly about this stuff. This has kind of just been like, if you know, you know. We're going to talk a lot more about it publicly after this rebrand. But regardless, what I told somebody the other day is like through all these mediums, Facebook ads or LinkedIn or short form content, TikTok, I grew a lot on there. It has always been, the core of it has always been telling stories and using different channels to amplify that brand and story, right? And I will stand by that. That is my mission for as far as I can see it. The mediums may change. Tomorrow I may talk about another platform that I think I'm really bullish on to tell stories. Right now it is LinkedIn for reasons that I mentioned in videos before, but I believe the supply-demand opportunity, the impact opportunity is really big on LinkedIn, and so I'm bullish on it. But at the core of everything that we do in our agency is to tell stories, right? I want folks, when we ask a little girl in Detroit or a little boy from Philly or a kid in Atlanta, when we say like, who are some of your favorite entrepreneurs or artists or creative folks, that they're able to name people that look like them, that sit in the communities that they sit in, that have similar experiences that they've had, and not just Mark Cuban or Damon John or Magic Johnson. Not to say that those people aren't great, but those are the people that we highlight and put up. Although so many people, everyone has great stories and experiences to tell, right? And I feel like that is the big mission that I'm on. So again, that mission right now and what we're going all in on right now looks like helping people have that impact and share their stories on LinkedIn. But it could change, right? And I'll keep talking about that. We are maxing out our agency right now at 30 clients. And so as soon as I start talking about this publicly, it's gonna like sell out. I have a wait list right now for clients, which is why I don't talk about it a lot publicly right now. But we are maxing it out at 30 for a few reasons. The folks that we want to work with are VC folks, PE folks, folks in entertainment. A lot of these people y'all know. And we just want to we want to just do like really white glove service to those people, which is why I am investing in things like this, making content, making YouTube videos, doing brick by brick so we can offer more space, time, and energy. Because one thing one of my mentors told me was like, Casey, if you're maxing out your agency at 30, right, that is I have a fine life, fine income from that, right? But he was like, back to your mission of helping people. You're now only helping 30 people tell their stories, have this impact, right? And so how can you exist and say all this and have this cool mission, have this mission of when one of us dies, millions of stories die too, but you're only helping 30 people in the agency, right? And so that sat with me and stuck with me. And this is why I've been investing a lot more time into different things where these things aren't for money necessarily, right? Again, our agency still to this day and will probably continue to exist, be 90% of our top line and bottom line. But this allows me to really put energy and time into my mission, right? And so this is taking hours out of my day to create this content, put this stuff out, build out brick by brick, do all this stuff because of the mission, right? And so that is something that I wanted to share. Switching gears a little bit, with work, I'm trying to find balance with meetings. And so I'm finding myself at the end of the week just tapped out. By Thursday, I'm tapped, right? And this is funny because on Mondays, usually I don't take meetings on Mondays, but between Tuesday and Wednesday, and Thursday is also a big meeting day, but by Thursday, those meetings, I'm like tapped. And so I'm trying to get down to maybe 2 days of meetings. I'm going back and forth with like, maybe I do all days and just 3 meetings a day, just with the time and the transitions that we're in right now. I do have a lot of meetings with the restructuring, just all the different things that y'all can see that I'm trying to do. And so no meetings is not optional right now in this season. But I think I am going to try to get it down to like just Tuesday and Wednesday meetings or just Wednesday, Thursday meetings, and then no meetings on Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So that's the goal that I'm trying to implement by Q3 is the goal. So that's that. I'm also kind of like going back and forth. And this probably could have been under the, like what I'm stressed about, but I'm constantly thinking and happy to any input from y'all. I know there could be some cool folks watching this, but I'm constantly battling with like scaling versus hiring, right? So as I just outlined, we're going through a lot of changes in our agency. We're pushing out this new offer on October 1st. We already have this wait list. We're dripping some people in right now, changing systems, making a lot of mistakes, and just refining everything, right? But I find myself generally in these moments of scale, like when to hire, when to bring somebody on, when to scale. And so right now I have a certain revenue that I want to hit with this new offer, and then we're going to hire. And so I have revenue kind of like tranches, I guess, with this hire. The first one will come at $250. And so getting to $250K a month with this new offer, then I want to bring on 2 roles, which is the head of growth role and then a senior content strategist. And the reason why I'm thinking at the 250 mark for those 2 roles is because I need these people to have experience. And I think I'm talking about this later on, so I won't get too deep here, but I need to be able to pay this person a pretty good amount. And they need to be attached to their own like revenue goals, right? And so I know, or the structure that I usually follow, and give feedback if y'all have different structures, but the structure that I usually follow is for somebody that's just in an operations role, like they're not directly tied to revenue. I like to make sure that whatever their salary is, they are bringing or providing at least probably like 4 to 6x what we pay them, right? I know in bigger corporations, like I was a strategy consultant, my salary based on like what the company was actually getting was probably like a 10x, right? But where we are right now, I think a 4 to 6x. And so if I pay a person $100,000 a year, I need to be able to see like they're bringing back $400,000 worth of value, right? In that operations role. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking for that content strategist, that copywriter type person. And then for somebody that's directly related to revenue or sales, that needs to be a 10x, right? So if they're able to sell, bring new business in, do upsells, different things like that, that needs to be like a 10x ROI. And so just figuring out like who I want to hire first, where I want to hire first, and taking all those revenue kind of like goals and placing them with the hires, but also starting this process early enough so then as soon as we hit it, we have the right person, we can onboard pretty quickly. And so it's just one of those games right now. 2 more updates when it comes to work. We had a team retreat in Houston. It was awesome. And I say Houston, but we were outside of Houston. I'm sharing this too for any leaders that are thinking about doing this. This was totally on a whim. It was 4th of July. We spent like 10, maybe 8 days together. I rented a nice Airbnb. It was a lake house. I think we spent like $7,000, maybe like $8,000. Maybe it was like $8,000. I have to look. $8,000 on the house. We had snacks, we had food, we had somebody come cook for us. Like it was just super retreat vibes. We were on the lake. We had a pool. I'll put some photos at some point on LinkedIn or something. But we just hung out the entire time, right? I canceled all meetings. I had some upset clients, but I framed it in their best interest. Hey, I'm meeting with the team. We're fixing a lot of systems. And so we just canceled all the meetings all week and we just hung out. We got super, super deep. We did an exercise that I loved. It was a feedback circle. So everybody got in the hot seat, including myself, and received like really good, I won't say harsh feedback, but really good critical feedback, right? So I even got up there and I heard from my team how I could be a better leader, where I need to focus more, how I need to help more. And we all did that hot seat thing. In the evenings, we would have fun, right? But we worked a lot. And I think too, for the leaders out there, we run a remote company, right? So we try to get together once a month, but it always doesn't work out with my travel schedule. But doing something super intentional like that, like a retreat style, just get everybody in, have fun, get to work. I feel like as a leader, I got like 10x of the value. So we probably spent like $8,000, $10,000 on all the food, getting everybody there, the house, all the stuff. But I know I got extreme value from that retreat, and I'm still feeling as a leader the impacts of that. If any of my team members are watching, y'all have been hustling since that retreat. So I'm now planning another retreat because I'm like, man, they loved it. It just brought us closer together as a team. We came up with some crazy idea. We came up with this whole rebrand idea, right? And it just fired us all up in different ways. It fired me up as a leader, and it fired every individual up as like owners of what they control, right? I remember some feedback that I got as we were leaving. It was like, we all like feel like leaders now, right? And that's the place that you want your team in. So that retreat was amazing. If anybody has good suggestions for another retreat, I got a big goal that they're working towards, so I could surprise them with another retreat. So if anybody has any recommendations for a retreat, feel free to let me know. And the last thing is an investor. So we are finalizing some contracts. So I won't talk about it too much until everything is final. But one of the brands that we've worked with in this first iteration of, again, Facebook ads and telling stories through that mechanism, I've been working with a brand for a long time. They've become great friends. And so even as we're transitioning into a different mechanism to tell stories and build brands, I've just been able to meet really cool people along this journey, right? And whenever we make mistakes, whenever we change directions, I'm always very honest with the people that we work with. And I think, again, that pays back tenfold. And so this brand we've been knowing forever. We're friends with the owners, and we are now figuring out like an equity deal in this brand that is in a totally different space than I focus in. But I think it's also, again, really cool with like what your personal brand can do, right? And so I'll talk more about that as we finalize that, but I'm super excited to become an equity partner and a co-owner in this really cool brand that I really believe in. So those are all the work updates, y'all. The biggest updates of the week will be the work updates, because work is life right now. Work is life. But what's coming up for me, right? So we have this Brick by Brick cohort 2 that is coming up in a month. We are pushing it again, all organic. I was going back and forth with the team if we should do ads, if we should do a webinar, all this stuff. And I was like, nah, it's just not my vibe, right? It's not my vibe right now. And how I want to build this. I want the people that hear about this to hear about it. The people that don't need to hear about it, they don't need to hear about it, right? Because I spend a lot of time with these cohorts. So we're pushing it all organic. We are going from 15 people to 20 people intentionally. Again, for my mission, but also I think having more people in the room is going to give it just like more color, right? As y'all know, like certain people die off, certain people, whatever. So we're doing 20 people this time. And we're also using these cohorts to plan on a bigger launch in January. Now, I keep telling everybody when it comes to January or when it comes to like a bigger launch, I will be more hands off, right? And so I'm really involved in these cohorts because we're trying to figure it out. I'm trying to talk to everybody. I'm trying to get to know everybody. And like I tell our cohort right now, selfishly, I need y'all to win. So I'm spending my weekends, my nights, reviewing their content, helping them with content, writing content for them, because I need some crazy testimonials. I need them to win. So cohort number 2 will be the same way, and we're going to open it up mid-September. I am, as I already talked about, planning our next retreat. And I got some surprises for our team. I can't say them here because my team might watch this, but we have that. Again, I'm hiring for 3 main roles, actually. 2 are a lot more essential than the third one, but hiring for 3 main roles that I told y'all about. And the other thing is just thinking about becoming an AI first company and integrating that into our excellence, right? There's like the Lean Six Sigma or whatever it's called that I was telling our team about during this retreat. And it's like, the more that we can operate in excellence and have systems that help us become more efficient, the better our client results are going to be, right? Because humans make errors, humans make mistakes. If we can build systems that take our frameworks, our learning, our strategies, and be more efficient, we're going to have happier clients, and the clients are going to have better results. And so as an artist, it is difficult for me to take my artistry when it comes to content, when it comes to writing, and go AI first. And what I was talking to one of my mentors about was like, he's like, well, Casey, keep that the art, but everything else, like systematize that, right? The ability that we actually have, or the leverage that I have in this AI world, is that we are freaking humans. We do care, right? And so those things I realized we're never going to touch. We're going to do the unscalable, especially at this point. Like I just told y'all, brick by brick, I could have a lot of automations do that, but right now I'm doing the unscalable. I'm giving everybody feedback. We're sitting, we've introduced more calls. I'm shooting Loom videos for everyone, right? Like I'm doing the unscalable because that is what I know, 1, I have the advantage to do, and 2, is going to get the result that I want. And so just thinking about being AI first while keeping in the things that I love, the things that give me joy in business. And it's working with people, building, it's putting out good art, putting out good content. And so just finding that balance is where I'm spending some time. Now, this is a middle thing. If you are getting some value from this, drop a comment right now so I get some signals if y'all like this style, whatever. But we'll keep going. What's keeping me up at night, right? What's keeping me up at night is I want to tell more stories. I told y'all, like, again, when my mentor called that out, like, you're working with 30 people, like, there's so many stories to tell. I want to tell more stories. I think about even my mom. Like, my mom has some crazy stories and has lived a crazy life, just as I'm sure most of y'all watching this video. And it's like, who's coming to her wanting to tell her story, right? Just because she doesn't have plaques on the wall or whatever, all these achievements. But like, who's telling her story? Who's documenting her story? And there's millions of folks out there like that. And I want to be in a position to tell more of those stories. And so this is something that keeps me grounded because I know I need capital to be able to fly my production team, however we want to tell these stories. I need capital to do that, right? And so it's another big focus as to why I'm growing this agency, why I'm playing this business game, so we can acquire capital to tell more stories, right? At this point in my life, I live a life that I love, right? And so this capital and growing and playing this capitalist game is to tell more stories, right? Especially in an era where so many stories are being erased, not told. So yeah, that's keeping me up at night. Like just figuring out how to scale, how to do this thing so we can tell more stories. I also feel like, and then maybe y'all can relate to this, is like, I always feel like there is a never-ending to-do list. So tactile, or like a tactic here, or something more tactful. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. But something I need to do is get an EA to help me just with a lot of different things that I have going on. Emails. I am so bad at responding, so bad at emails. I'm just really bad at a lot of those things. So I need to get an EA. I need to get brick by brick participants to take more action. A lot of them are taking action, but I've been studying behavioral change. And so that's a lot of what my weekends are spent doing right now, is just studying how to get more and more action, right? I believe we lucked up with this first cohort. They're taking crazy action and getting crazy results. But I know that won't always be the case, right? And so myself and Bridget, who helps me with Brick by Brick, we've been just studying and consuming a lot of behavioral change stuff. And so that's keeping me up. Another thing that has been keeping me up, and I told the team this last Friday, we do this Friday wins thing. And this last Friday, I was struggling thinking about wins. And it's because I'm shifting more. What I told them and what we really got to in the retreat was everybody's roles, right? As a CEO, it's my job to make sure the right people are in the right seats. And so we're going through the right seats, and I told them, and what we all agreed, my seat is the team. Like, I work for the team. I need to train the team, build the team, energize the team, get the team the vision. Our team works for our clients, right? Or serves our clients. And so my big role right now is team, content, and revenue for now, right? Revenue will also fall off my plate as we bring in this head of growth. But then my core job is a team, just like the coach, right? A coach of a basketball team, they're not out there taking shots. Their job is to bring the team together, get the plays together, right? And so my team took that on, and they've been executing like crazy, which then on Friday led me to feeling like, oh, what was my win, right? Like, I felt like I didn't have a personal outcome, but the team had crazy outcomes. And it was just my first time seeing like, oh, this is the win. When the team can execute at super high levels, that's the win, right? And so just shifting that, it's a mental shift from going from personal outcomes to like team outcomes is my win. And then finding a head of growth, right? That's committed to serving and fits within, okay, a couple of things here, right? And I put this in order intentionally, but I need this person. There's a ton of people, again, personal brand. I've had people from Harvard Business School reach out, Columbia Business School, somebody just reached out. I've had an influx of some great candidates for this head of growth, but I'm trying to find somebody that is committed as our current team. They fit our culture, which is a huge thing for me right now. And especially with the size of our team, they have to fit our culture. They see the vision, right? They see where we're trying to go. They're super bought in, and they have experience, right? And so I'm trying to find all of these things. And again, I think it's going to take me some months. And like I said, I'm committed to finding this person over the next year. So it is a big thing that I need to do. I have some urgency with it, but I know this is a lot. And these first things even matter more to me than having experience. Being committed, fitting our culture, seeing the vision. But I do also want that person to have experience, right? And so that is also keeping me up. And my friends, the last section here in this very public diary, some personal updates, right? Right now, just a huge focus on my health. I just completed a 10-day smoothie fast. I went to boxing this morning. I've just been working out. I'm probably doing like 15,000 steps a day, including the fitness that I'm doing. So just a huge focus on health. I'm thinking about doing function health. If anybody has tried that, let me know. But a lot of my time after work is spent on watching Huberman vlogs and just thinking about my health, tracking my stats, all that stuff. I have a goal of making this year the healthiest year of my life. So that is what that focus is. I'm also trying to prioritize my personal financial goals more, right? And this is me being a servant rather than a selfish human, which I need to be more selfish on. It's hard for me too, though. But I put a lot of money, I put a lot of time into our business, and I need to shift that, right? I think this is something that as we're going through the scaling period that I'll be more intentional about probably in the next year or so. But I put a lot. I pay myself a nice salary. I was about to say very little, but I need to have perspective. A fine salary. But I need to be more intentional about my personal financial goals, especially as I'm getting older. I'm thinking about having a family, just different things that I'm trying to do. Maybe buy a house, different things, right? And so I need to be more intentional about my personal financial goals instead of putting everything back into the business. But this is also why I'm investing in teams so much, right? And really good people, paying them really good salaries. So I can have more space and time to focus on obviously growing our business with a great team. I also have this goal, I don't know if I shared this, to overpay everyone that we work with, right? I want to keep a small, lean team, but I want to overpay them, right? And so again, with that, I'm, just thinking about what it looks like to prioritize my personal financial goals alongside of growing and scaling the company. I'm also trying to see my family more. I do not go home enough. I'm from Detroit. I do not get to go there enough. I want to see my mom more, my siblings. I have nieces and nephews. I just want to be around my people more. I've been around them a little bit more than I have been in the past year, and it's just giving me so much more like life and just so refreshing, right? And so I'm focused on doing more of that and keeping up with that. And also just scheduling check-ins with my friends. I don't talk to my friends enough. I'm one of these people like out of sight, out of mind, and that's just not good for the relationships I want to build. So I am putting things on my calendar and scheduling check-ins with my friends and my family. So yeah. So that's it, folks. Again, let me know if you guys like this style. Again, at the end of the day, I do want this to be helpful for y'all. I do want to do this for these 4 reasons. And I know this is a different style, a different structure, but please ask me questions. This is going to be fed off of the questions y'all ask me. So wherever y'all want me to dive deep, you guys know I'm an open book. And I'm in this for all of us to win, right? I'm on a journey just like y'all are on a journey. So let's keep going. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.